Budget and Finance Committee, and we're going to begin with resolutions. We have RS 2019-1608, sponsors Virtue and Sledge, appropriates $14,564,000 from the General Reserve Fund for the purchase of equipment and building repairs for various departments of Metro government. There is a substitute. Can I get a motion to move the substitute? It's been moved and properly seconded. I'm going to yield to Mr. Jameson so he can advise the committee of what the substitute is. You should have it in your packet.
The substitute would simply delete the entry on behalf of the JIS for the management consultant entry of $200,000 and would therefore reduce the amount in the caption from $14,564,000 to $14,364,000.
Any questions on the substitute? Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Substitute passes. Now we're on the resolution as substituted. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended as substituted. We're on RS 2019-1609, sponsors Virtue O'Connell, authorizes an economic and community development incentive grant to the Industrial Development Board of Metro Government for the benefit of Alliance Bernstein. There is an amendment. I'm going to go ahead and get a motion. Can I get a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. I'm going to go to Councilman Cooper at large to offer up his amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Chair Lady, I would just like to move this amendment, which really very basically has the incentive payment to Alliance Bernstein be voluntarily submitted to the Music City Center for payment. This will match the revenues with this expense. And it should be noted that the Music City Center has invested $38.5 million in a parking garage on this very same site and will be receiving revenues from that. And also with this marvelous project, they'll be receiving this sales tax from over 200,000 square feet. So it seems appropriate to match the revenues that are coming from this project with this expense. And again, it's a voluntary referral to the Music City Center for the payment of this incentive grant, but then they voluntarily, on this very same site, are building the parking garage. So it seems appropriate to do this, and so I make the motion for this amendment.
Thank you, Councilman Cooper. There's a lot of council members in the queue. Are you discussion on the amendment? Councilwoman Allen, and just before we get to in the trenches as it relates to this resolution, I'm going to come back. We're going to get the amendment on the resolution, and then we're going to defer it, and then we'll have a presentation from Alliance Bernstein. We won't take any questions up from as a committee today. This is just going to be the initial presentation, and they'll come back at a later date. Councilwoman Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the amendment, there's a reference to a memorandum of understanding from last May that is part of the logic of why this makes sense to use convention center money to pay this incentive or an equal amount into that. Mr. Jameson, can you tell me what that memorandum of understanding dealt with?
So the memorandum of understanding was generally with respect to payment of police overtime for services provided in and around the convention center during times of need in that vicinity.
Related, I'm assuming, to tourism events.
Presumably, yes, ma'am.
I would just say that seems like a really logical connection, and I appreciate the reference to the parking garage as something that they will use, but it seems like a very different or a much looser connection here, and I would feel more comfortable personally using convention center money either to pay off the convention center early, which I believe we're getting close to being able to do, and if you can answer that question next, as opposed to using it for things that to me are only tenuously related. When will we be able to begin to perhaps make extra payments on convention center, or can someone from the finance desk answer that?
My understanding of the state law restrictions is that we can't do that until they have essentially, the money in their surplus fund, so to speak, equals the indebtedness remaining on the convention center, and we are a ways away from that point.
Several years.
That's my guess.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Thank you.
Councilman Pulley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It seems appropriate to me that if we're going to move this down the road one meeting, and it seems like that is an appropriate thing to do, I would move that we defer this bill prior to this amendment being attached to it, so we can have discussion on all of that over the next couple of weeks. So I would move to defer the bill as is, one meeting.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Give me 1 second, Councilman Pulley. Councilman Davis, although we're on the motion, you had a comment as it relates to discussion on the amendment?
I was just actually going to say the same thing. I was thinking we should just, if we're going to defer it one meeting, which that's what I was hoping we would do, just take a, I haven't even had time to look at the amendment, and, you know, at a glance, it sounded kind of like it needed some thought, or definitely some reading. So, yeah, I was thinking it would be a great idea just to defer one meeting, and then we can kind of get our ducks in a row.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. For those committee members that's requesting a deferral on the amendment, I want to ask that you work with Attorney Jameson by way through the sponsor for any concerns as it relates to the amendment. Councilman Cooper, you're okay with the deferral on the amendment?
I am. This would be until the next meeting,
April.
or this would be until April?
March 5th. If it's a one-meeting deferral, that'd be March 5th.
I thought it was, what's April 2nd? I thought we were doing.
It's a three-meeting deferral, and he's seeking a one-meeting deferral.
There's a okay. Go ahead, Councilman Cooper.
Well, yes, I mean, in the sense of, is it the sense of the committee to defer the bill to which this is attached to only one meeting or a one-meeting deferral? Yes, then that is fine for this amendment to show up the next time. And
I just want to remind the committee also that the Blue Ribbon Commission, they are currently doing work, and they are charged with having a report back to this body, to the council, and to the mayor by April 1st. I believe, I don't know if that's correct, Mr. Jameson. Am I giving the correct timeline?
I believe that's correct.
Where that commission is going to bring forth various recommendations to this body. So there's a motion on the floor for a one meeting deferral. Before we take that vote, Councilman Glover, discussion on the vote, deferral.
Just very quickly, Mr. Jameson, I want to, are we only moving to defer the amendment or the entire bill?
I understand,
The motion is for the entire bill.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Glover. Councilman Prodmore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But with the deferral, we are still getting the presentation. Is that correct?
We are.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilman Davis.
Just one more thing I was going to mention. Very excited that this was the first incentive we had since the Do Better bill.
Correct.
And we've got some good information from the company. Also, my thought in the deferral was give a little more time, obviously, to review that. So just if everybody can take a look at what they had in there. Is it attached to the analysis packet?
It is.
So you can take a look this week, these couple weeks, and it's our first incentive that we're, since the Do Better bill passed last January. Thank you.
Yeah, and the amendment is also in your amendments packet. Seeing no further discussion on the deferral, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is deferred for one meeting. I'm going to turn it over to a representative from Alliance Bernstein. The floor is yours. For the general public, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Gingrich. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Alliance Bernstein. I wanted to thank the members of the Budget and Finance Committee and frankly for the entire council for the opportunity to speak today.
I need you to speak into the microphone,
I'm
please.
sorry. I also want to thank the mayor and the city and state administrations for working with us throughout the process. You're here to begin the process of considering the incentives that are a very important part of Alliance Bernstein's decision to move our headquarters to Nashville from New York. This was, for those who don't know, a very competitive process. We started with quite a few cities. We did significant due diligence on 16, inclusive of Nashville. We entered into negotiations with 3 of those cities. The package offered by the state, the TVA, and the city was a competitive package, and therefore an important part of our decision making. Although the incentives are not going to be paid for several years, we also recognize that they will ultimately represent a sizable investment for the city. And consequently, we welcome the opportunity to give you more background on AllianceBernstein and our plans so that you can make the most informed decision. And should there be questions following this meeting, we'd be happy to follow up as well. So let me start with a bit about who AllianceBernstein is and how we came to decide on Nashville. AllianceBernstein is an investment management and research firm. We're global. We have 51 offices in 25 countries around the world. We employ just over 3,500 employees. The most sophisticated global institutions, governments, sovereign wealth funds, pensions, high net worth individuals, family offices have entrusted us to manage more than $1.5 trillion of their money, which we invest across a whole series of asset classes: stocks, bonds, real estate, loans, commodities, currencies, and so forth. And how effectively we do that has very real consequences. It affects how families live their lives, whether or not they can pay for college, whether or not they can take care of their parents, and what type of life they're going to live in retirement. It's a very serious responsibility, and we take it as such. The company was founded in New York City, and we've called New York City home for more than 50 years. And so the decision to relocate our headquarters was not a decision that we came to easily, as you can imagine. It's also a very costly decision for us. It's, by our estimate, we're going to incur approximately $160 million in additional cost to implement this move, and that's cost over and above what we intend to invest in our new headquarters building. The greatest strategic asset that we have is the talent of our people. And central to that culture that we have at AllianceBernstein is that we believe in creating an inclusive work environment. The fact is that accessing the broadest possible talent pool just makes common sense, and we know that diverse perspectives result in a higher functioning organization. Therefore, as we thought about a new city, foremost in our minds was finding an inclusive and welcoming community where employees could thrive. Before we made the decision to move to Nashville, we spent a significant amount of time with many civic, nonprofit, academic, faith, and business leaders to determine whether or not this was a place that our existing New York-based employees would fit in, and also whether this was a city that would allow us to attract high-quality talent from across the country. For similar reasons, we took a very intense look at the talent pool here in and around Middle Tennessee. And while Nashville certainly doesn't possess a large financial sector, we came away impressed with the breadth of educational institutions in the city, and we look forward to building partnerships with schools like TSU, Fisk, Belmont, Vanderbilt, MTSU, and Lipscomb. And it was this combination, the welcoming climate of the city, the talent pool within the city's attractiveness to talent across the country, and importantly, the incentives offered by the state of Tennessee, the TVA, and the mayor's office that led us to our decision to relocate to Nashville. So let me now talk about 4 dimensions of how I think AllianceBernstein can impact the Nashville community and what you can expect from us. And those are: first, meaningful job creation; second, investment in developing our people in the Nashville talent pool; third, investment in downtown Nashville; and lastly, a commitment to the broader Nashville community. So on the first of those, meaningful job creation, we're going to employ more than 1,000 people in Nashville in jobs that include sales, marketing, legal, compliance, audit, finance, technology, operations, wealth management, and human capital. In New York, those roles pay on average $200,000, and I expect them to be high-paying here as well. Now, we have begun to build the Nashville team, and today we employ roughly 200 employees in Nashville. About 140 of those new hires are new hires to AllianceBernstein in and from around the Middle Tennessee area. The majority of those employees are in Davidson County. 60% of our current team currently resides in Davidson County. In fact, I think we have employees from the majority of districts represented by this committee already working at AllianceBernstein. We're located right over at the WeWorks facility. I'd welcome anybody to come over and visit. I'd be happy to host you. I'm sure our team members would love to meet you. I'm proud to say that I'm a Davidson County resident, as is our Chief Financial Officer, our General Counsel, our co-heads of Technology and Operations, and our Head of Global Sales and Marketing. Second, as I mentioned earlier, talent is at the center of our success as a firm, and we will invest in training our people and in building the Nashville talent pool. For those that join us, we're providing in-house training about the financial industry, as well as about all things AllianceBernstein. We do this through on-the-job training both here in Nashville, as well as having our new employees travel to New York, where we provide more formal training. We're investing in training for our new managers, and we're investing in diversity training for all staff. And we've begun to engage with the local universities on how to best shape their curriculums and how to improve the student career readiness. We're committed to being an employer of choice for all Nashvillians, including people of color and women. We're going to use partnerships with local HBCUs, minority student groups, organizations like the Urban League to enhance our talent pipeline. And we're already in active conversations and at career fairs with TSU and Fisk, among others. Indeed, I think we're fortunate to have alumni from those two schools on our recruiting team, as well as a dedicated diversity recruiter. We're a Women in Tennessee Technology Scholarship sponsor, and we're in the process of committing to other sponsorships with the Diverse Chambers of Commerce and with the Nashville Software School. Thirdly, we believe a vibrant city needs a growing and vibrant downtown. And so we're investing $70 million in leasing over 200,000 square feet in our new headquarters building at 5th and Broadway, the site of the old convention center. We're in the process of designing what I think you're going to find to be a cutting-edge, compelling, and inviting workspace that can be a showcase for other companies in the city. And I would hope you would all join us. We're going to have a grand opening event at the end of next year. I hope you can come and visit with us at that time. And lastly, you should expect AB to actively do its part to maximize the talents and lives of all those who reside in Nashville, as well as ensure that Nashville remains a city where people want to live, work, and play. We're a generous firm. AB has donated millions of dollars to nonprofits worldwide through a generous employee gift match program, as well as direct contributions. We also provide numerous opportunities for our employees to volunteer their time and skills through volunteerism, as well as acting as board members. We're going to focus our efforts predominantly on the communities that have not benefited from Nashville's tremendous growth. We have and will continue to sponsor a variety of initiatives that represent our commitment to better outcomes related to inclusion, equity, education, arts, and culture. For example, we recently donated $100,000 to the Public Library Foundation for the Summer Reading Challenge and Bringing Books to Life, in support of what is a collective community effort to increase the number of Nashville students reading at grade level. So to sum up, AB is very proud, and I'm personally proud, to call Nashville our new home. The welcome that we've received speaks volumes about the people who live here, and we continue to be impressed by the collaborative energy of city, state, community, and business leaders focused on making Nashville an even better place to live and raise a family. We feel honored that the city and state have chosen to make a commitment to AllianceBernstein. And I want you to know that we all understand the responsibility that creates for us as a company and for us as individuals. And we're dedicated to doing our part to contribute to this city's continued success. And that concludes my remarks.
Thank you so much, Jim, and to the entire AllianceBernstein team that's here. Thank you for that presentation. We're going to continue with our agenda items. We're going to move on to RS 2019-1610, sponsors Kendall, Mendez, and others, authorizes the Metro Development and Housing Agency to enter into a pilot agreement and accept payments in lieu of ad valorem taxes with respect to a multifamily housing project located at 2707 Clarksville Pike. There is a letter to approve from the sponsor. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2019-1611, sponsors O'Connell, Bettany, and others, approves an amendment to the lease agreement between the Nashville Academy Theater and Nashville Children's Theater Association for property located at 724 2nd Avenue South. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2019-1612, sponsors Vircher, Syracuse, and Gilmore, approves a grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives to the Nashville Public Library to provide funds to hire computer instructors for free technology training. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2019-1613, sponsors Vircher, O'Connell, and others, approves a community tree planting grant from Keep America Beautiful and the United Parcel Service Foundation to Metro Public Works to provide funding for 50 trees to be planted in the Mill Creek watershed in the Antioch community to help with air and noise pollution. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2019-1614, sponsor Vircher, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of David W.K. Jones against Metro government in the amount of $65,000. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Councilwoman Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a general question. In looking for some other item in the code, I stumbled across a section that requires all Metro employees to take a defensive driving course. Do we know if that actually happens still, and are there any refresher requirements?
Director Hogg, just come up to the podium so you're on record for the viewing audience. Although I see the nod, the affirmation needs to come from you.
The answer is yes, and the certifications that follow it. So there is a defensive driving course that's a 6-hour course, and then the recertification is a 4-hour course. But yes, Metro employees who use Metro vehicles absolutely have to have that, and they do have the training.
Thank you. And how often is that recertification required?
3 or 4? 3 years.
Great. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad to know that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman Allen. Thank you, Director Hall. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. RS 2019-1615, sponsor Vircher, authorizes the Metro Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Ratley Hendrickson against Metro government in the amount of $13,000. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Resolution is recommended. That brings us to bills on second reading. We're on BL 2019-1487, sponsor Mendez amends the Metro Code to require the Director of Finance to submit an annual report regarding lending, funding, fund transactions to the Metro Council. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Councilman Mendez, do you want to seek recognition on it? Okay. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bill is recommended. BL 2019-1493, sponsors Vircher and Withers, approves a contract between Metro Government and Concentra Health Services, Incorporated, for medical services to employees who have sustained occupational injuries. Is there a motion? It's been moved and properly seconded. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Bill is recommended. Before we adjourn, I want to remind committee members that we are approaching, we're actually in our budget season. I want to continue to remind you that we will use the SharePoint. That puts us as a committee on the whole, where you can see what I'm asking departments, and your committee members and council members can also see those conversations as it relates and as we continue this budgetary journey. The Blue Ribbon Commission, they are diligently doing their work also, so we should have that report back from that commission sometime in April. And with that, thank you guys. We are adjourned.